Hi, I'm Astrologer Jenny Lynch, and today we're going to talk a little bit about 2012. I'm going to make some predictions. I'm here with astrologer William Stickevers, and I just wrote my predictions out for the new year, and I know that you're working on yours. So I want to ask you first, William. It seems like 2011 had a lot of dictatorships fall. A lot of people, even Kim Jong from Korea.
Kim Jong-un?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, we saw Arab Spring, 17 nations with large-scale revolts, revolution, assisted overthrows with NATO intervention. We now see the same thing happening in Russia. We see it spreading as well throughout Europe with the large-scale student riots in England, and you see large-scale riots with the unions in Greece, Italy, and parts of France. So that's spreading here to America with in September with the Occupy Wall Street movement. So we're seeing a global proliferation of revolt.
Right. And you mentioned earlier that some of it was with the Cardinal T-Cross, and certainly in 2008 when Pluto entered Capricorn.
Right. Certainly 2008 was the beginning of the financial meltdown, which was the first phase of several of a almost demolition of the global financial system, a phased-in demolition.
Isn't that the job that Pluto's come to do, to transform banking systems, governments, and large corporate entities?
Yes, I think the Pluto in Capricorn was just step one, and then it's certainly followed by the cardinal T-square. What we're seeing now, especially with the breakdown of the central banking system, the Eurozone in particular, and the currency wars, has much to do with the cardinal T-square hits it made to various countries which are currently in sovereign debt default, with many of the banks that are now going under, and certainly during the time that Pluto has been in Capricorn, conjuncting the sun of the Federal Reserve unleashed secretly $17 trillion throughout the world to sovereign governments through the private sector, installed liquidity into the stock market to keep the markets up artificially, and certainly to pump up the dollar and other currencies that were in trouble. And this has been ongoing. In fact, the Federal Reserve released another 2 or 3 trillion just recently, with the debt crisis in Europe now going nuclear.
Let me ask you, where is the Federal Reserve sun?
Federal Reserve sun is in Capricorn.
Do you know the degree?
I don't remember, but right now, as we speak in December 2011, it's sitting on that sun. So you're going to have the upcoming Uranus-Pluto squares, 7 successive ones, from 2012 to 2015, will be hitting off pretty close to this chart of the Federal Reserve natal sun, and on top of it's going to be making squares to the Jupiter, to the Venus, and also as well to the sun of the U.S. chart. So the best is yet to come.
Do you have a prediction about that?
Well, I think we're certainly heading towards revolution. I think social revolution we're seeing now with the Occupy Wall Street, which is going to get much more organized. It's going to get much bigger, and you're going to see that play a role in the upcoming 2012 election. Possibly the rise of a third-party figure. We may see Ron Paul become much more of a significant figure than he is now. He's now leading in the latest Iowa polls, and my current indicators are showing that he might win the Iowa caucus, which would be a dramatic upset.
I see.
In the GOP.
Okay, so now let's get back to the economy for a minute, because we know that 2012 is probably going to be more of the same, right? More turmoil?
Oh, I believe the banking system is in big trouble. I think there's just no doubt what we're going to see is real estate is going to go down further. I don't think we've hit the bottom.
Unemployment?
Unemployment, they say it's 8.5, but if you use unemployment methods of determining unemployment from 1980, it's somewhere around 16% unemployment, and underemployment, which is the unemployment plus people who are no longer looking for full-time work, who are no longer, were making six figures but now stocking shelves at Walmart and at 1 in the morning, working at Starbucks or McDonald's. That group is almost about 24.7%.
That's tremendous.
That's right. That's nearly the depression levels that we saw back in the 30s, where it hit 25%.
And interesting enough, we're going to have the Saturn-Pluto squares like we had back in the 30s.
That's right. So again, the recession will move very quickly to a borderline depression. The Federal Reserve will use everything in its power, but will begin running out of bullets, I believe, and it will start showing. We're going to reach the tipping point, the economic tipping point. We're hitting multiple tipping points with the environment. We're going to see problems with water distribution. We're going to see problems with oil, peak oil, or inefficient oil supplies, available oil supplies.
Does this have something to do with Neptune entering Pisces?
Neptune entering Pisces has very much to do with water and oil, which are very incompatible with each other. So you're going to see big problems. Another BP oil disaster is probably in the making, or something similar.
We were talking about February.
One of the things I see is like a black swan event, something that cannot be predicted by using any type of secular trends. The astrology is showing something very significant is on the radar that's going to completely disrupt the current state of the economy. It could be an unexpected breakout of hostilities in the Middle East, possibly with the Iran closing the Strait of Hormuz, where nearly 30% of the world's oil comes out of each day. We could see, again, a complete breakdown of the banking system in Europe, which would have a massive impact on Wall Street, which would shut this economy down. So we could see that. We could see a number of crises where the president is ineffective and able to handle them. We could see a number of environmental crises occur. We could see a number of things all culminating all at once, where it's almost impossible for any government or bureaucracy to probably handle them. We could also see another set of tsunamis that strike in certain key strategic areas of the world. We could see another, it could happen where I certainly don't believe the nuclear power issue in Japan has been resolved, so you'll see Fukushima 2. There is talk now about the fourth reactor at Fukushima is heating up again. We certainly know that there's quite a bit of radiation spilling in the Pacific that's been ongoing since March.
And we have news blackouts everywhere.
And we have news blackouts. I believe also the media begins to fall. What we will see is the beginning of the end of the truth embargo that's been imposed on major media. There will be certainly the rise of media 2.0 through the internet.
I like this idea.
And we're going to see that really come to the fore. We'll certainly see some aspects of the media start breaking away and start getting the truth out there. We may see it through BBC First or through some other foreign channel. Russia Today.
Yeah, Russian Times, is it?
Russia Today,
Yeah.
Russian Times, yeah. So we're going to see more of that happen. As far as countries, I think Russia's in big trouble. I think the political situation is going to get much more delicate, much more troublesome. The Chinese economy, Uranus, Pluto is going to make direct hits on the sun of China. So I believe the Chinese economy is overheating. You're going to see a massive fall in real estate.
You know, I heard their real estate bubble already happened.
It happened?
Yes.
Well, I believe this is the beginning. And I believe you're going to see major work slowdowns and rising unemployment there, which is going to cause tremendous social instability throughout the country, especially in the countryside. And also I see the beginning of the end of the Communist Party, at least the way we see it today. There's going to be a power struggle over the next year. We'll certainly see it. It may be sort of happening now, but it's sort of suppressed. I believe the situation in North Korea is going to be it's still going to be very fluid. It's still very fluid. I don't see anything really coming out of that. certainly tensions between the North and South are going to increase. This is very consistent with what Uranus Pluto brings. Also, Neptune and Pisces has very much to do with borders, right? So you're going to see a dissolution of borders.
Well, you know, like what I see when I'm looking at it, the big mess, is that eventually we're going to have to unite. We're going to have to go global, because what's happening in China is going to be affecting our environment in America, or with the meltdown in Europe is going to affect the stock market here. I think that's the process that we're going through for the next 7 years.
I agree. I think we're moving towards we're in a paradigm shift. We're moving towards a one world economy, a one world currency, a one world type of government. But it's going to be very messy.